Narrator's name is Irma Perrine. Interview name is Emily Thompson. Location is in Edmonds. The date is 3/10/01. Irma, how did your family first come to live in the Pacific Northwest area?
My grandfather came here in 1890.
And what was his name?
Yost.
Well, what year were you born in?
1907.
And as you got older, what was your first impression of living here?
It was just home to me. I don't know.
Was a lot of people here? What kind of activities did you do when you were a child?
Oh, I lived just 2 blocks over here, and Otter Street was only a block long. And there was a creek ran down the front of our house, which right where the sidewalk is today. We used to play in the creek.
Play in the creek. Was there any other buildings on the property during that time?
A garage and a woodshed.
What is your father's name and your mother's name?
Jacob R. Yost and Maud Yost.
As you grew up, did you have a bed of your own, or how many children did you have living with you?
Well, at that time, there were just 3 of us. But my sister and I slept together until they enlarged our bedroom, and then we had double beds, both of us.
Where did you attend school at?
The wooden grade school that was right across the street here. And they graded the hill, but we used to walk up the 7th Street, and it was rather steep. And sandy.
Did you see them grade the hills? Bring in trucks or anything, or?
Not really. I knew what it was done, but I didn't watch it.
So it was much easier to walk up the hills after that was done?
Well, that was done years after I was out of grade school.
And how did you get to school?
Walk.
What do you remember about these walks that you took? Was there any impressions or stories that you have?
No, there's just a couple of blocks to the grade school. Of course, later I went to the high school, which was over where the Bible college is now. That was our high school.
What subjects did you like in school?
Commercial.
Where did you meet your husband? Your first husband?
When I was 12 years old, my dad brought him home. And that's the first time I saw him, but then I didn't see him again for several years.
And then where did you re-meet him at again? Here in Edmonds?
Probably at home.
Where did you get married at?
Bellingham, in the courthouse. Because we thought we were going to keep it a secret.
Did it work?
Didn't work very well, because I went to work the next day and they suspected it, and so it didn't stay secret.
Did you have a lot of people attend?
Oh no, we were just married in the courthouse.
And then everybody knew about it?
No, just my mother knew about it.
You said that you guys were snowbirds. Can you tell us a little bit of that?
Well, that's since my second marriage.
Second marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any children?
I have 2 sons, and their dad died in 1950.
Was he from Edmonds too?
From this area.
What kind of occupation did your husband have?
He worked in car parts.
Do you have any memories of the of war years?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Or?
Well, my husband was World War I veteran, and so was this husband.
What did he do in World War I? What was he?
I don't know. It was before I was born here. He was in France.
What do you remember about baby days or childhood with you having your kids in Edmonds? How was the city of Edmonds at that time?
Oh dear, I don't think.
Was it still a small city?
Oh yes. But we had sidewalks and the streets were paved by that time. Both my sons went to school here.
Through the Edmonds Middle School and high school?
Well, I shouldn't say that. We were across the Sound for 4 years of Hansdale. And the youngest one started school in Kingston. But when we came back, they went into this school.
Can you tell us a little about your job that you had?
Well, I had different ones. When I finished high school, I worked for the motor bus depot in the ticket office. And then I quit when I was pregnant with Max. And I didn't work again until about 41. And I worked part-time at Frederick and Nelson.
That was in Seattle?
Mm-hmm. And then I went to work at Suburban Transportation. And I think I stayed there through the war. I was there until, I can't remember, 6 years.
Was there anything different from working during the war than not working during the war? Did they conserve a lot, or?
I can't say about that. The only thing I remember about the war was I was at Frederick and Nelson when they decided on the blackout, and the girl I worked under came and told me to go home because she thought everybody with a family should get home before the blackout started.
How was it with, when did you first move to this house here?
1927.
And you were born in 1907 in Edmonds?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where you were born at? Were you born in a house?
Yes, I was born in my aunt's house on 6th and small one.
What was it like for family life during dinner times and bedtimes? Do you have any memories that stand out, or did you have hard chores you had to do, or?
Not really. Help with the dishes.
How'd you meet your second spouse?
Well, he was a friend of my first husband. In fact, they went to a one-room schoolhouse when they were little kids up at Upper Meadowvale. And then Joyce went away to Seattle and California. And they didn't meet again until in the 30s. So I knew Joyce while my husband was alive. And he remarried, and his wife died, and well, my husband died in 1950, and his wife died in 1953. So, and we married in 1955.
Here in Edmonds?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What?
At the Methodist Church.
That's my, what churches did you attend here in Edmonds? Was it?
Yes, Methodist.
You've been attending that for how long?
Off and on all my life.
So that's been here in Edmonds.
Yeah, we used to be on 5th, right at the corner of 5th and Dayton. But they wanted a bigger church, so it's out in North Edmonds-South. The big one.
What, in your opinion, has been the greatest advances or inventions that has helped you during your lifetime? What do you have now that you wish you would have had when you were a kid, or?
I don't know, I've always been rather satisfied.
You've always been sad. And what do you enjoy about the city of Edmonds here? Well,
I enjoy being able to walk down to the bank and the post office and wherever.
So it's very convenient. Can you tell us a little bit about where you visited when you were snowbirds with your second husband? Where did you guys go?
We went to Yuma for, the first year we were south was that we were in Tucson with my sister. But then we got a trailer and went to Tucson. To Yuma. And after several years, we sold the trailer and bought a mobile home in the same park where we were.
And you went out there every winter time?
Mm-hmm. Go down in October or November and come back in the late March or first April.
What things have given you the most pleasure or satisfaction in your lifetime? You enjoyed living in Edmonds?
Mm-hmm. I've been quite a number of other places, and I never wanted to live any place but here.
And you have two sons?
Mm-hmm. And when we were down south in the winters, we spent some time with my son and his family that lived in San Diego. And because we could make that trip easily from Newman to San Diego.
As a child, what were your, did you guys have big holidays and around Christmas time? Did you have family get together and big celebrations here in Edmonds?
At home. Almost always at my mother's home.
And where was that located at?
2 blocks from here. She had a sister and family, and an aunt from her family close by, so they always got together.
You say your grandfather came in since 1890. Where did he come from?
Pennsylvania.
And how did he arrive here?
I think boat from Seattle to Edmonds.
Do you know why he stopped here or in Edmonds?
I suppose he knew there was lumber,
Sawmills?
timber here.
Do you have any brothers or sisters that live around here, or just is your sister?
I just lost my brother, and I have 4 sisters.
And do they live in Edmonds here? Or?
3 of them live here.
So you had a very large family then.
There were 6 of us, and I was the oldest.
Do you have any special memories that stand out when you guys were kids playing around, or?
Well, there's quite a distance in our. The closest, I believe, was my sister and I. We were 2.5 years apart, and there's more space between the others. The youngest is 20 years younger than me.
Is there any special games that you remember you guys played as kids, or?
I don't know how we played. We used to play in the alley with people that lived, neighbors across the alley. They had 2 girls, and my cousin lived up the other end of the block. And we used to all gather in the alley and play. And that was when I was quite small. And I don't know what the games were that we played years later.
What was your very first job? Was it in Edmonds? What was your first?
No, it was in Seattle.
It was in Seattle.
For the motor bus people.
Was there a lot of work here in Edmonds during that time, or?
I don't know. My dad was at the motor bus people. And that's how come he could go there right after school. He told me after I graduated that I could come down the next Monday and see what it was like. And I stayed.
How was, did you drive yourself there, or did you?
No, we had good bus service at that time.
From Edmonds to Seattle?
And I rode the bus.
How much was the ferry, do you remember? How much?
No, I don't remember. When I was there, I didn't have to pay any.
You didn't have to pay bus ferry? Bus ferry?
I didn't have to pay any bus fare because I was working for
the company.
Yeah, so it was connected.
How were those buses run pretty good? Were they pretty fast, or?
It took 45 minutes from here to Seattle. Of course, now the roads are different. Everything's different.
Can you tell us a little bit how it's different?
Well, the roads have been changed, and
was it more dirt, like more muddier back then, or was it all paved?
No, it was paved by that time. And but the route was changed a bit when they changed the highways. And so it doesn't take as long.
Do you have any memories of before they paved the roads in Edmonds, or the cars would drive around with mud, or?
Well, we didn't live where it was muddy.
Did you ever visit the library in Edmonds before it came to the museum?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any memories about that? Did you check out books, or?
I really didn't. I used to meet my friends down on the library steps. So I made a lot of trips to the library, but I really didn't.
It was a meeting place.
Yes.
Did you go to any of the library itself? Any other buildings around here that still exist that you used to meet or visit in Edmonds?
No.
Did you go on the Kalakala or any ferries, old ferries back then?
Yes. I rode the ferry a lot when we lived over at Hansville. Well, and before that too, because my in-laws were over there, and we spent many weekends there. And the 1 year we had a ferry from here that went to Victoria, and I rode that. I think that must have been about 1929, something like that.
How was that? Did you feel safe on that ferry? Was it pretty good? Pretty sturdy?
Mm-hmm. I never thought about it.
What's the difference from those ferries then to the ferries now?
Oh, they were short. They were so short, they were as tall, as long as they were tall, some of them. But that was running between here and Kingston. But I think I went, I drove on to the ferry here one time, and I was the last one on. And they put chains around the wheels on my car because it was right on the back end.
Wow. Mm-hmm. To make sure that it wouldn't fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't worried about that on the ferry or anything? It stayed there and everything was okay?
Oh, yes. I was going I don't remember.
Do you remember how much the fare was then for the ferry?
No, I don't. Most of the time I didn't have to pay it.
That's a good thing.
Somebody else did.
Did you say you went on the Kalakala? Do you have any memories of that?
I think I must have been on it, but I don't have any real memories of it.
Living in Edmonds, have you ever seen any whales or animals out in the water?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little about that? Or did you used to walk down to the water a lot?
Not a lot, not a lot. My cousin and I used to go for a walk, and we'd go down the waterfront. But my uncle had the, do you know where Arnie's is? Well, my uncle's lumberyard used to be on that property. It was a big lumberyard.
What was the name of it, do you remember?
Edmonds-South lumber company. And we used to go down there. We used to change clothes behind the lumber and go out in the water.
What was your uncle's name that owned that?
John Yost. Well, actually, it belonged to the estate. He ran it.
So you guys would go behind there and change clothes and then swim in the water?
I didn't know how to swim, but we went in the water. Went as far as I could walk. Because I liked it.
Was there a lot of traffic then at that time of ferries moving back and forth? Or
not so much.
Do they have that ferry pier out there?
Yes, that's always been there.
It's always been there.
I can remember going down and walking on the ferry when I was a little kid. I mean, on the dock when I was a little kid with my parents. And because the boat, it used to be a boat, we didn't have any ferries then. It used to be a boat that ran between Seattle and Everett. And they'd go down sometimes to see it come in or leave.
Oh, so that pier's always been there.
Mm-hmm. In my time, it was there before I was here, I'm sure. But we didn't have that other stuff up on the waterfront because we had mills all along there, single mills. I think there were 11 mills.
Do you know what year that was in when they had 11 mills?
Well, I don't know when they started. But when I was little, there was still mills all along there.